Hello and welcome, this is rooflemonger, and my friends, in today's video, it's going to be a little bit of a continuation of a video from a few days ago, as we now have numbers for character usage in the top 100 ranked players for the Nintendo Switch and also for Xbox Live. Now, in the previous video, we had the numbers for PC and PS4, and if you want to see that video, just check to the end of this video and there'll be a link there. But yeah, so we're going to go over these numbers, and then we're going to take all four platforms as a whole and just look at the numbers as they lie, and let's look at some trends. Now, I want to give a big shout out here to Art Major and Wei Tai Friend, as these are the fine folks who got us the numbers for Switch and Xbox. And being the most recent numbers we got, these are the numbers we're going to be using, as these are kind of a snapshot in time, because numbers are subject to change every day, alright? But also, thank you very much to the people in the comments from the previous video who also did a lot of the detective work as well. So, first up, let's look at the Switch numbers, because we got a pretty big stat here. Now, across the board, all four platforms, UI Goku is the most represented character in Ranked. That's just how it is. If he's going to get nerfed or not in the future, I don't know, but he's overwhelmingly the most played character, right? And on the Switch version Unranked, he is overwhelmingly the most played character of all the platforms, as 40% of all teams in the top 100 use UI Goku. That's a really extreme number. That's almost half of all players. So yeah, pretty big. Going from there, Goku Blue also at a whopping 20% here. Gogeta, of all things, is 19%. Definitely not the same numbers you'll see on the other platforms for Gogeta. Bardock, 18%. Base Goku, 15%. Broly, 14%. Super Broly, also 14%. Trunks, 13%. GT Goku, 13%. And at number 10 here, we have Super Saiyan Vegeta at 12%. And as we go down the list, obviously the numbers, they kind of cascade down, as you would expect. But yeah, so the Switch seems to be a land of extremes, to say the least. Especially with the monstrous 40% usage on UI Goku. And as we go down and down, you know, lesser played characters like your Videls, your Hits, Zamasu, all that kind of stuff. And we only got 39 because, once again, Cooler has zero representation in the top 100, as nobody is picking the poor boy. So yeah, the numbers, hey, they are what they are. Now let's move on to the Xbox version here. So, Xbox version number 1, no shocker, UI Goku again. At 32% of all teams in the top 100 have UI Goku representation. Number 2 is Bardock at 17%. Number 3 is Super Broly. Number 4 is Super Saiyan Vegeta. Number 5 is Base Goku. Number 6 is Big Broly. Number 7, Goku Black, which is an odd one. Number 8, GT Goku. Number 9, Vegito. And number 10 is Blue Goku. And of course, going down, the numbers go down after this here. But even still, Base Vegeta high at 11%. Cell at 10%. Hit at 9%. That's pretty high for Hit. Gogeta at 9%. Adult Gohan 8%. And so on and so forth. And on this one, on the Xbox, we do have every character represented. And Cooler, hey, he shows up 3% on this one. So he's not near the bottom of the list, although Android 16, again, is at the bottom of this list. And also at 1% is Gotenks again, just like PlayStation PC, very low, and Zamasu as well. So on Xbox and Switch, we got a little bit of a oddball in the higher percentage usages. So on the Switch, we have Gogeta, pretty high up there, 19% usage, very odd. Gogeta, while he's not the worst, he certainly could be better, absolutely, right? I don't think he's as bad as your Videls of the world, but he ain't wildly better either, right? And on the Xbox, Goku Black in the top 10? That's something. Goku Black, another character, sure he's better than Videl, but he ain't doing too much damage either, right? And of course, we have across the board Android 16's low, no Cooler representation at all on the Switch, and just a little bit on Xbox. Now, when we take the numbers as a whole, once again, UI Goku overwhelmingly is number 1 across the board. So on Switch, 40% of the top 100. On Xbox, 32% of the top 100. On PC, 39% of the top 100. On PS4, he is 27% of the top 100. So he has the least representation in the PS4 of all 4 platforms. But that said, don't get me wrong, UI Goku being used by a quarter of all players in a game that has 40 playable characters is still overwhelmingly representative of the fact that this guy is busted. Let's get real here, right? People love their Gokus, absolutely. But people love playing top tier characters more, especially in ranked, right? As with a couple deviations, a lot of the top players, or rather the top represented characters in these top 100s are pretty much the best characters in the game, right? That's why we're seeing a lot of Bardoks. That's why we're seeing a lot of GT Gokus. That's why we're seeing a lot of base Gokus, a lot of Brolys, all that kind of stuff. You know, the good characters, and less so your Android 16s and your Videls and your Zamasus. And on that note, let's talk a little bit about character representation here. So, I've talked earlier in the previous video about Cooler, and Cooler is also poorly represented here on Switch and Xbox, and just straight up isn't in the Switch version at all. And he's a character that's better than a lot of people give him credit for, absolutely. But, you know, you could see some argument, you could see why some people wouldn't want Cooler or just don't perceive his strength, right? Someone like Gotenks maybe isn't as strong as his peak power earlier in the game's life, but Gotenks is a good character, just flat out, right? Maybe character-wise, he's an annoying little rat, right? But as far as his power in the game is, it's pretty decent, right? And people are rediscovering his strength, and he is very lowly represented. On the Switch version, only 3% representation. On the Xbox version, only 1% representation. On the PC, also only 1% representation. And on the PS4, only 3% representation. So yeah, this is like... Once again, some of the lower tier characters are definitely on the lower ends of representation, but I would never, ever, ever call Gotenks a low tier character. He's a high tier character at minimum, in my opinion, right? And he's just down there. So I can only assume that you are aware of the fact, you know, he ate some nerfs and all that kind of stuff, right? But that was only because he was an incredibly strong character, and those nerfs, while they guess, you know, they put a little bit of a damper on him, he's still an incredibly good and an incredibly strong character. And makes me almost scared, as we know the focus on the patch coming up is they're going to be buffing a lot of the lesser played characters, and if they get feedback Gotenks is a lesser played character and he gets buffed, oh my god, like, welcome to top tier, buddy, because Gotenks with buffs is a character you need to be scared of. So the numbers tell a story, that is for sure, right? Of characters that are barely touched and characters that are overwhelming like UI Goku. Now, to us, these numbers are fairly new because we just started tallying them ourselves, right? But to the developers, this is stuff they've had all along. This is info that is not new to them. They get all, you know, the metrics and all that kind of stuff, feed it to them daily because, you know, they run the game. They get to see this stuff. So it is now basically, what will they do with this stuff? Are they going to make any big measures? Will a UI Goku get a nerf? Will a character like Gotenks or Cooler get a buff because they're on the very low end of things, along with other characters like, say, Android 16, who apparently nobody wants to touch anymore because, hey, he got nerfed very badly, no one uses them anymore, so that tells a story in and of itself, right? Yeah, so it's just basically, we know these numbers, it's cool to know it, but what will they do? And I guess we'll find out sometime this month. So with all that said, now that you know all the numbers yourselves, what do you think? Do you got any comments? Put it in the video below. But other than that, my friends, I guess we're at the end of the video, so thank you very much for watching. Hope this video's found you well. Go out and play some Dragon Ball.